Forgive my hair. It's very wild today. How's everybody doing? Usually, Rhonda is here to greet everybody with her high energy, but I don't think she's gonna be here today. She has a doctor's appointment. Just want to say hello to everyone. Nice to see you guys. Let me pull the agenda for today. 1 second. Did you guys get the email, the agenda this morning?
Yes.
So we will start with our usual, introductions. If there is a new coordinator, please raise your hand and introduce yourself. 0, yay. If not, just a few reminders that if you have a new coordinator in your program, to email Shayla or Johanna directly for so they can update the masters list. They took over the list, so if there's any updates, please let them know. ACAPS membership, if you're not a member, to log into this link and submit your application and just follow the instructions. A link to the Zoom meeting will be sent out after the meeting. It will take probably 1 or 2 days, depending on how busy ACAPS is. But if you want to rewatch the meeting for today, it will be sent out later this week. So discussion topics. I know we sent out a survey a couple of months ago, and I apologize if we're just covering it this month. I feel like there's always something to cover every month, but a few of them are we listed here. So if you're one of those people that submitted topics that you want to discuss for today, this is what we came up with, the ACAPS board. ABPS written and oral results. How many of you know that you can access this on ABPS website for the written and oral? So if you're not, because for me, I did not get a copy of the actual email report. Usually it's sent out in February, and for some reason, I don't know if I missed it. So I didn't know how to access it. So I reached out to Gwen, and she told me to go to this, to the website, and you can go actually download the report from the report tab section. So if you are not aware of it, the information is here, just FYI. End of the academic year checklist. Someone wrote resident portfolios. I think this should be an open discussion. I think they just want to get some ideas how we keep our resident files. So if anyone wants to share their, how you guys compile your residence files and how do you keep them. Like for me, I keep the current 5 years, the current and 5 years graduates, and then I send it out to get scanned, so I can, it'll be filed electronically. How about you guys? Does anybody want to share? No, you guys wrote this down. Nobody wants to share. How do you guys?
So what do you guys have in your resident portfolios?
Right.
I did fellowship previously, so it was all 1 year and then everybody was shipped out.
Oh, okay. So for me, I keep it for 5 years, just because I do the verifications, and other things, and I it's hard for me to go and get the files back from the, company rather than, having it on with me. So I keep it for 5 years at least. So what I keep is, I keep everything in the residence files and I separate them with each tabs, like all their CVs, all their, because during their PD, they're supposed to send us their updated CVs, their licensures, contracts, all evaluations is there, even though it's on MedHub. It's just easier for my program director to look at them when they meet with her biannually. ABPS confirmation, all important documentations, test and service exams, quizzes, they're all in one file.
Mine are all electronic. I don't keep paper files anymore.
Oh, do you keep them on MedHub or Innovation?
No, just in my drive.
No.
We have a OneDrive.
So your program director have access to it when they meet with, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do electronic too, but I found over the years that I ended up making a what's called graduate final document folder, which I kind of just keep the final summative eval, their malpractice, anything they're going to ask for later, their diploma, their transcripts from medical school, their step scores, and the ABPS completion summary and their logs. So all their case logs. So anything they'll come back for later, I put into one exit folder, which has seemed more helpful for me later on, rather than, having to scan, kind of go through everything to look for the different things they're asking for.
I think so. Amory put, I inherited both physical and files in electronic folders. I think it depends on your program, what you prefer. Maybe you should talk to your program director and see, if you still want to keep the hard copies versus keeping a electronic folder. Anybody else wants to share? Okay, if we answered your question, then I think we should move on. We have a big topic of discussion, so I want to keep our 1 hour, to respect everybody's time. So what else? The annual program evaluation meeting. This is a mandatory meeting that we have to do before the end of the academic year. So for the new coordinators, I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of it. I know GME, it depends on per institution, but I know GME should remind you that you are supposed to have this meeting to discuss the program overall, evaluation of the program. And they should send you a list of things that you should cover for this meeting. Someone also wrote non-milestones evaluations for the topic. And there are different types of assessment tools that we all use to evaluate the residents. It doesn't have to be the milestones, but during mock orals, they're getting evaluated, right? In-service exam, that's part of evaluation. Conference participation, ground rounds, core curriculum, case presentations, M&Ms, hot seat, journal club. Those are, I think, part of evaluations. And also, let's see, we also do 360 evaluations. We have a simple app that we use where a resident is getting evaluated after surgery. So they get, it's like an app, and then the resident gets evaluated right away. So they get that feedback after surgery or clinic or after their performance. And we also have a midpoint evals where we just implemented this 2 years ago, where a resident gets evaluated based on the service goals and objective. And this is used during the midpoint. So if I have a 3-month block, they get, faculty is supposed to meet with the resident midpoint based on the feedback of the faculty. So that way they don't get the feedback at the end and it's too late. How do I get improved if I get the milestones at the end of the rotation, right? It's supposed to be like throughout their service. Anybody wants to share how they evaluate your residents? Again, these are based on program, not, like the midpoint evals. We just thought that it's a good feedback to give. Someone says, does
Oh, sorry.
anyone use a formal eval after any resident presentation, grand rounds, conference, etc., etc.? We use verbal also. So during let's say for M&Ms or service reviews, those are given during biannual. So we include that during the biannual letters that we sent to the residents. We discuss it with them. And it's also used when we present them at the CCC meetings.
There's actually, I don't know if the old timers remember this, but there's actually some evaluations from ACAPS. I think they were called like milestone tools or something like that. And there's
So
an
our
evaluation form in
evals?
there for conference.
Yeah, our 360 evals are, we took the ACAPS evaluation and implemented it to our 360 evals that we send out to our nurses and peers and clinical staff.
We use the same evals for staff, nursing, and patient.
All right, anybody else?
And then I also highly recommend that if you guys are on MedHub, the on the fly evaluations for like after surgery or evaluations, they come super handy because they can just pull it up on their phone really quick, submit a quick evaluation and then move
Yeah.
on.
And also GME provides sample evals that our GME at least that we can use or mimic based on our, service specialty. Amory, can you, is the evaluation on ACAP still available on the website? I can ask Shayla.
I have copies of them if you want me to send them to you and then you can circulate them.
Okay, thank you. So this is another topic someone wrote. Experienced coordinators, any suggestions for transitioning to a new program director? Thanks, Alyssa. Anybody wants to share? Okay, I'll share. I've been in this position for at least 15 years, and I stopped counting, maybe 17 now, but I've had 3 different program directors. The very first one was very intense and no room for errors, very anal. And I took that as a good experience for me because, it taught me to be like on top of everything. And it's like, oh, I have to get this, done. The second one was, I've worked with him for a long, long time, and he gave me a chance to grow and help me to be vocal and always including me in the meetings. I'll sit in the back. I'm very introvert. So I'll sit in the back and he'll always call on me and it's like, Christine, sit in the front, and he'll make me talk. I'm like, oh my God, it's like out of my comfort zone. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like I'm having a heart attack. But he gave me a chance to grow and be I am today. The third one, she was my resident, my current program director now. And we have a good relationship because she was my resident, but also I have to learn how to give her the respect that she, deserves. She has a lot of great ideas. And I think for me is the ability to adjust to any situation and work with different personalities. And I think that's a good experience because we deal with different personalities, and having 3 different program directors with different personalities, I think it's a learning opportunity for me. And I took that like very highly. Who's a senior here? Chris.
So I can chime in if you'd like. I'm actually on my 4th program director in a year and a half. So it's interesting. My first program director I worked with for a very long time. He kind of was the one who trained me, and he was on top of absolutely everything. He had a lot of problems interpersonally, issues that our new program director definitely is filling in. So she is the opposite of him in terms of all of the interpersonal stuff, but she is on top of absolutely nothing. So it's a problem. So thankfully I've been around long enough to know, but I would welcome any suggestions on how to not let things go to the last minute, because I will email her about things and email her. You need to make a decision. You need to make a call. What's your decision? And I get nowhere. And then eventually it's, oh shoot, that's due in 3 days. Yeah, let me get it done right away. And it's frustrating for all involved. So yeah.
So with my second program director, he hates meeting with me because he knows we're gonna have to like work on. He hates it, but he's really good at being program director. He just hates meeting with me. So I'll put myself into his calendar. And even though my name is on his calendar and I see him sneaking in, I would go to his office with a bunch of lists of things to do. I'll just, like, we need to get this done,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
So I
probably physically showing up with no escape is probably a good idea.
Elena, have you only have one program director?
I've had 2, but I came in and Dr. Evans, who's our chair, was the program director. And 3, so I was learning, we were both learning together when Dr. Lees came in as the program director. But same, like we have a Monday, every Monday we meet at 1:30. And it could be a 5-minute meeting or a 30-minute minute meeting. And I kind of throughout the week look ahead and have stuff that I know she's sitting down there. She's sitting in front of me and she'll be able to complete at that time. That's all I have. We keep them on track, right? You're teaching them a lot of the time. We have a new APD who just started a couple months ago, and she keeps saying she had no idea how much paperwork and how much goes on the back end, because now she's having to look at surveys, do evals, sit down with the residents. And I don't think a lot of the faculty, when they come into that PD role, realize how much it takes to keep the program afloat.
And I think it's, like you said, it's our responsibility. We're here. That's why we're here for, right? To guide them. Pam, I know you've been in your position for a long time.
I have, but it's a little bit different with me because it's always been Dr. Gosman. And for a short period of time, we did switch to Dr. Lance, who was and alumni, and he recently left, so it's back to Dr. Goslin. So it's all, Dr. Goslin has always been in the PD or APD role, and she has full control of everything, and I just do what she says. She's very involved, obviously.
I haven't gone through the new transition yet, but I'm in the process of having to transition to a new PD. And so just met with him this morning and kind of tried to sit down and set expectations and figure out like how they want to communicate with me. Like, do they prefer email? Do they prefer text? Like, I have access to their calendar now, but I'm like, what times? Like, he has 2 small children as well. So it's like, just because it's not on your calendar doesn't mean it's not happening. When do you absolutely need to be home by? Like when? So kind of trying to set those conversations and getting that going, I feel like has been helpful at least.
Anybody else? I know Chris is here. I don't know if she wants to talk.
I
And
am.
She's been here
I'm-
for a long time too, right?
I'm on my 3rd program director. They were all very different. They all wanted things different ways. They all want to communicate different ways. There was a little about each one that I liked, and there was a little about each one that you have to kind of get used to. That's
Someone
about-
said,
that's
have
about
any,
it.
oh, sorry, Chris, go
No,
ahead.
that's okay. That's been my experience.
I can report back in a couple of months, Lauren, on how that's going. I feel like it's definitely going to be a bit of a change for them, but they're excited, at least right now, about the different expectations from a different program director.
It's
Been
hard
6 months
because
at
like,
this point.
yeah, for my current program director, it's hard because she's not the program director, but her when she was a resident, her interns are now her residents, right? So the transition is kind of hard because they knew her as a resident, as their chief residents, and now she's a program director. So her first year was kind of challenging for her, only because they've had a program director for a long time, which is before her, and they're so used to his ways, and transitioning to a new ways, it was kind of challenging, but not everything's good. I hope we answered your questions. So we'll move on. If nobody else don't want to share, or if you have any question, please raise your hand. Onboarding new residents. I feel like this was you guys discussed it this last month's meeting, but I just want to remind, because it's also one of the topics someone wrote. Orientation is coming up. GME is supposed to have a orientation set up for your residents. Each program or specialty also have their own orientation. So for me, we update our handbooks, we update, I create an agreement so they understand that they have to be present, or on like special or important events, and I have them sign it every year. And then just to make sure that you enter new residents into relevant systems, including ABPS, ACGME, MedHub. What else am I missing, guys? ABPS, ACGME, the web ads, right? Those 2 are the most important systems that we have to update every year. And then you have to, for the graduating residents, you have to initiate, I think that's in November or December where they send you an email to confirm if they're graduating, right? And then again, at the end of the year, you have to confirm that they are leaving and submit anything that needs to be submitted, like the final evaluation or something. Leave policies for residents. Someone asked about the leave policies. We discussed this during when Gwen joined us. I think it was February. She joined us for our meeting. And she discussed the leave policies, but again, here is the information. I can forward you guys, if you want me to forward you guys the slide that she, I can forward it again if you need it, but it's on the ABPS website. I think the important things are 12 weeks where residents are allowed to have 12 weeks of personal leave that they can use throughout the residency, and that they can use it for maternity, sick leave, paternity, family leave, personal leave. It may be used for residents. Yeah, so that one. And then no more than 4 weeks of personal leave can be taken during the last 13 months, 3 months of graduation with an exception. I'm talking about exception where residents gets pregnant, right? Or get sick. Those are some of the exception, but you have to reach out to the ABPS to get that approved. And
So-
again, the policy can be found in the ABPS website. Any questions about personal leave?
Yes, so along the same lines of my program director having to nag her for just about everything, we have a bit of an unusual situation with one of our residents. She's just not progressing the way she should be. And very long story short, she ended up being diagnosed with autism, which any of us could have told you from the beginning. And so in the time it took her to get that diagnosis, she was out of work for probably, I don't know the exact dates, but at least 8 to 10 weeks. So I kept telling our program director, we need to report this to the board. We need to report this to the board. It did not get reported. So ultimately, long-term, we plan on extending her training. So it's not technically going to be leave because we're going to extend her training because she needs it. She's behind enough that we can't just have her out. So she's going to be graduating late. So she's back now, but again, none of this has been reported to the board. And I have told my program director, we need to what are the consequences of not telling her or telling the board, and B, do I just do it myself because she didn't? I don't want to overstep, but I'm just, yeah, that's what I'm at.
So, hi, this is Beth from the University of Rochester. So, in listening to your story, it's really the program director who has to report it, not the resident anyways. And I think.
Well, that's what I mean. The program director is not doing it.
All right, well, I mean, you can as well. I mean, it does have to come from the program director's email.
Okay.
But you can also reach out to Gwen and just be like, this is what happened. They're so backlogged on it anyways, on the approvals, that I don't think it'll be an issue with that. So I think it's better just to report it, because it's what you're supposed to do. I mean, if your program director has a problem with it.
I don't think it's a problem. I think it's just she hasn't gotten around to it and doesn't seem to think
What I do is I just do it for my program director.
Yeah,
I do the letter. I send it to him and say, this has to come from your email, send it to, and I give him the email and off it
Okay.
goes.
That's
So
a good idea.
we had somebody who never did their paperwork to be registered with the board. So they had to delay his approval. So, I mean, it happens. So I don't think that's a big deal, especially because it's relatively new as well. So, but I also wanted to point out that with this includes any elective time that they have. So, and I don't think a lot of the coordinators realize that. So if they've already had 12 weeks, if they were out, say they were out ill, maternity leave, whatever, if they have elective time coming up, they might not be able to do that if they're already over, because that elective time is included in the 12 weeks. And I don't know if everyone realizes that. So it's not just 12 weeks of sick time, paternity, maternity, it includes any electives. Which can be tough. Like we've had some chiefs that have been out due to paternity leave or maternity leave, and now they can't do an elective because they're out of time. So just something for everyone to keep in mind that does happen.
I actually learned that this year because we added an elective in our rotation, and I didn't know that at first, and so I found out that it's included to the 12 weeks. So we have to also report that when. So I agree with Beth that, you know, I write the letters and I have my program director sign it, and I send it myself, but I copy my program director on the email so they know that they're both, you know, that she's on there.
Right. And I don't think you have to submit elective time, Christine. Maybe I'm wrong.
No,
Just if they're out
just
for
the weeks.
a medical, yeah. But you do have to include it in that 12 weeks, but you don't have to send anything to the board for the elective time.
And they have on the website, they have that table that you can follow
Mhm.
per year.
Yeah.
And then you could just deduct it how many weeks, however weeks that they
There's a table that has to be included on the letter, or they'll send it back to you. As I learned the first time.
Jen, is your resident like graduating this year or?
No,
No.
she should be starting her 5th year in July.
Okay.
But she's gonna just be delayed about 3 months. I think,
That was my only fear, was like for the board, written board eligibility. Since they,
right.
like, just
Yeah.
took it, but
And I think there's in the back of our program director's mind, which is reasonable, that she may not graduate at all.
So Jen, maybe talk to your program director and just let her know this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You know, so she's on board and she doesn't think you're stepping any toes.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea to just write it for her and just say, hey, are you okay with me sending this? She'd probably appreciate that. So
yeah.
Jen, I'm sure some of us have examples if you want us to, because you have
Sure.
given me so much already. So yeah, I can pull out something we put
Sure.
together and
that'd be great. Thank you.
send it to you.
Thanks, Colleen.
No, Jen has everything. I'm telling you, anytime I have emailed her to say, hey, can you share this with me? She just gives me
Oh,
the gift.
now we know. Thanks, Colleen.
Yeah, sorry, Jen.
No problem. Happy to help.
All right. Any more questions about the leave policies? Okay, so just you know, a few reminders. Eris, oh, we have an update from Alyssa from the spring meeting regarding Eris and or PSCA.
yeah. So I'll try and make it relatively quick. Went to the spring ACAPS meeting in Chicago, and they still aren't fully committing to PSCA only or saying no PSCA. I know there have been updates for this coming year in terms of functionality, like groups are fixed, and the from what they showed us, the like dashboard is a lot easier to use through PSCA, so that'll be exciting. I think, you know, kind of talk to your program, see how they feel. There won't be a charge for programs to use it yet, but I think applicants are going to start paying $100 to use it this year. Just a flat fee. It's not based on the number of programs they apply to. And then just quick reminder, like if you haven't already said that you are going to use ARIS or not use ARIS, go in and do that on the AAMC side. And then I think we'll make sure that ACAPS sends out a survey for all the programs to say if we're using PSCA, ARIS, or both again. The other quick update while we're talking about the meeting, I don't know if it's lower in the agenda, but they talked about interview dates and release dates. Let me just make sure I give you the right info. So the goal is to have our interview dates posted on the ACAPS website by Monday, August 28th, which is a little earlier this year than in the past years. And then again, they're doing a similar timeline for the release dates, November 9th, which will be Thursday this year, and then they can't schedule until that following Monday. They aren't making a strong statement on in-person or virtual, but they did request that if we do have in-person, that we consider offering a hybrid option to accommodate people who don't have the finances to travel or get sick and can't travel at that time. For Cali, I'm not sure if PSCA is assuming that everyone is using it, or if you have to tell PSCA if you're going to use it. That way people don't apply to you and then you never view it.
I think last year,
Yes.
I forgot, did we register for PSCA last year? How
I think they
we
just gave
assumed
everyone it unless we
and
said
gave
we
us
weren't,
access?
I think. I don't remember specifically registering. We were just kind of given, or maybe we told them that we were planning on using it.
Yeah, so I don't remember either. But you said that we have to complete the ERAS application, whether
So
or
when
not.
I think that way your institution knows if they like get, because they pay, well, at least mine pays for the whole institution who's using ERAS or not. And then it like puts your info in FRIDA, which the med students can use to look up like how many hours do your resident work, like where do they work, what are their stipends. Oh, and PSCA is going to offer an interview management platform. I guess if you only have an independent program, then you would keep through SF Match. I don't think PSCA is going for independent stuff yet. Correct, Elena? It's only for the integrated.
The in-person versus virtual.
Oh, right. Alyssa, you want to cover the in-person, or it's not mandatory, right?
Right. In-person is not mandatory this coming year. So it's up to your program. And then if ACAPS had just kind of suggested, it was just like a quick little blurb that they had said, if you do offer or plan to have in-person, that they strongly encourage people to do hybrid. So I know there's a lot of discussion at least at my institution on like what hybrid looks like and how that is equitable. I think they had asked for like a clear like telling applicants like when they would be eligible for the hybrid approach versus not, or I can't remember exactly what they had said with it, but
I got the
Yeah.
same message along with some of my other PCs. Yes, I would call AAMC directly to see what's going on. But you should be able to sign, you should be able to have it. I mean, I haven't had any problems with the AAMC website. I know you guys mentioned that maybe there's some maintenance, but just call them. Someone put their number. Is there someone we should reach out to with feedback suggestions for improving PSCA? I think we did that at one point, right? Like, no, did we?
Yeah, I think the last couple meetings, they took the suggestions, and I'm pretty positive the application will be last name, first name when downloading.
Alyssa, can you review bullet point number 3 again?
Yeah,
Interview
so
and release date.
so this coming year, the integrated interview offers must be made on Thursday, November 9th. They're gonna do this a similar timeline. So release starting at 12 p.m. Pacific. And then you cannot schedule until 8 a.m. Pacific the following Monday on November 13th. And number 4 was the send it to ACAPS by Monday, August 28th. And they had also said deadline to submit independent interview dates to ACAPS would be Friday, January 12th, 2024.
So for the
Um,
interview and release date, it'll be the same process as last year, right?
I did not see any changes to like the process or policy based on how it ran this past year. And I think they'll work on updating it on the website too for everyone, but
And I'm pretty sure we'll get updates if there's any changes or reminders. Any questions?
Hi, it's Beth again from University of Rochester. I didn't know if anybody, oh, sorry, my dog's gonna bark. My English bulldog just heard something. I don't know if anyone's looked at Eris. I went in because I had to pull a picture of one of my incoming interns, but the format is very similar now to the PSCA, and it's very easy to see everything. And at the University of Rochester, we have to use Thalamus and Cortex, and the PSCA did not jive with it. So I don't think we'll be using it this year. It was just more work. I don't know if anybody else ran into that, because then I had to get them to make up numbers for them, so the AAMC numbers and all this stuff. And it was just a giant headache. I don't know if anyone else ran into that where they have to have the information off of ARIS for their institution.
my institution requires us to have ARIS unless it's like, urology where they have a whole specific match that's earlier. But I think even urology still uses ARIS. Just
So
a
Alyssa, did
different
you use
cycle.
PSCA or ERIS?
We did as like additional information, but we had to use both.
What
So
about this year? This cycle?
we'll have to use both again.
Yeah,
So,
I
and
don't,
then
I don't think we'll use the PSCA because it didn't offer any benefit from my program director and associate program director preferred the view in Cortex, which is part of Thalamus. I don't know, some of you probably don't know what that program is, but yeah, it's just for me, it's more work because you have to, it's almost like you're looking at two different programs for the same thing. And I didn't know what other people thought about it.
Yeah, I tried to combine my ERIS and my PSCA applications as opposed to giving them two, and Cortex couldn't read it. When I did it, I was just like, okay, well, that's completely pointless. Because all my PDs and my division, they just want to read one application. And I'm just like, well, then can we not do both? So I don't know.
Yeah, and ARIS now looks like the plastics application, so you should take a peek at it because it's already, even the people from last year, it's changed over to the new format. So because they haven't taken the data out from last cycle, so take a peek at it. It's very similar.
But it should still read in Cortex because they're designed to work with the fields that ERIS has.
Yes, absolutely.
Is the issue with Thalamus.
Yeah, and Thalamus is actually being offered to everybody now who uses ARIS. Apparently, I saw that.
Yeah, they
so
making out like a fat cat.
yeah.
And I think ERIS made some changes, but I think also PSCA updated the system as well based on our feedback last year.
Yeah, I haven't seen if it's live yet for us, but in the slides in their presentation from PSCA, they had updated the like user interface and dashboard a fair amount. There was a lot of back and forth in the meeting about PSCA versus ARIS and some of the like, I don't know, like issues with expanding it or running it, and then feedback on like AANC making a bunch of money on the cost of medical students, questions about like verifying documents, etc. So it sounds like it's still pretty up in the air as far as ACAPS in terms of saying like, yes, for sure, PSCA only, we're fully pulling out of ARIS as a specialty. I feel like it was a bigger discussion than we had enough time to have in that. Not sure, Rita, if they'll be able to upload.
So the
Yeah.
diversity report, you can actually download the Excel, all your application on Excel, and you could change the table. So you could, what do you call this? Filter it. So you can filter it based on, self-identity, background, blah, blah, blah. So you can actually do that on Excel if you download the information from PSCA. So I think it's the same as ARIS, where you download the Excel spreadsheet and you can manipulate it. Are we going to be able to upload the letters of recommendations in PSCA this year? Alyssa, do you know? Elena, yeah?
Yes, the program coordinators will have the same access as the PD, so they'll be able to upload the letters.
So I think it's there's going to be a lot of discussion about PSCA versus ARIS. This is just the beginning. The application season will start soon. So there's, just watch out or, look out for more information about the PSCA versus ARIS. And again, it depends on your program, which system you want to use. They're not mandating it yet, right? As far as I know. And probably, maybe we could, as we get closer to the application season, maybe we can invite Kiana back for question and answer.
Yeah, I spoke to her and she's willing to come do like a before it goes live presentation and get feedback so they can make any changes.
Do you know when it's going to go live, Elena?
I don't think they know yet. They're still putting those dates together.
Okay.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I think I've asked and I don't have a date. I don't know if it's going to be similar to last year's dates. So I'll ask and keep everyone updated.
And I think we're also going to try to get her to come to the annual meeting too, right? So once we start using it.
Yeah.
And people have questions or whatever.
Yeah. For those who do use Thelamis, can I ask, we do not, but it's an option, what you use it for, the benefits? I've never used the program. I don't even know what it actually does.
Elena, we've used it for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now, and I love it. Like, you send out your invitations through there, they self-schedule. So it's a self-scheduling, and then so all your emails, everything goes through there. It's very simple to use, especially once you've done it. That's like the main purpose. Some formats you can actually do it instead of doing Zoom. If you're doing Zoom, you can do it through Thelamis. Our institution doesn't pay for that. But then they purchase Cortex and cerebellum. So we have like, it's just progressed at our institution, and that's why the plastics application is so hard for us to use. But I really love it. And I know I never used Eris for scheduling. Like before Thalamus, I did the old send the email out, they called or emailed, you know, and I scheduled them on the day they wanted. And this is just so nice. And then if they have to change something, they can, but you have control over it. Like you can lock it so they can't do it, you know, at certain times, like, okay, they're done. You can build a schedule in there. This is new for us this year. So you can just put your data in and the schedule's like built for you. It's really cool. I mean, I know it's intimidating because it's new, but you know, like, you know, me with the plastic application, I'm like, whoa, you know, like, because it's new to me and I don't
Beth,
care for it.
do you think you can give us a presentation next month about Thalamus?
I might be able to. I don't know though that you can get into it right now. Let me check on that, Christine, and I'll email you back
Okay.
because it's like per season. So I'm not sure if we can even get in there.
So
but
the info should still be available.
It should be, okay.
Yeah,
Let
and
me-
it also depends, so I can work with you if you like, because I actually have microsurgery interviews coming up next week.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm still actively using it.
So you have applicants in there and stuff?
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah,
Okay.
because I don't also use it, but I would love to learn it and see if it's even beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah, so people either love it or they hate it. And it really just depends on how you want to use it. I know some really, really large programs, I'm talking internal medicine programs, say they have a very hard time building their schedules and stuff in there. And I would say their scoring is not very robust if you need to do a lot of figuring and use quartiles and all that stuff and scoring. They are working on that. I actually am heading off to a Thalamus meeting after this with them because I'm on the advisory board.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I come from anesthesia. The gentleman, Jason, who invented it, was an anesthesia resident. And what made him invent it is because he got caught during interviews with Hurricane Sandy. And so he was just trying to find an easier way to help the applicants schedule stuff. So that's sort of the story behind that. I'm one of those people where if I don't know, I'm going to ask. So he cracks up because I was emailing him a lot when I first started using it. I've only had one time I had one issue with the interview software where you do your interviews and something was wrong with that program. I mean, that was a quick fix for me. But other than that, I mean, I used to have 9 fellowships and, everybody's format was different. So it was great for me because I was able to sort of standardize everything. And I do enjoy using it. I do not like getting stuff in individually and then having to manually put it somewhere and try to keep track of it. And this does all of that for you. If you have like social hours that you're doing via interview and you're concerned about, how your faculty and stuff are going to get into it, it allows you to put external meeting links in so that all of your applicants are still going into one place in Thalamus, but your faculty and your staff can actually sign in through Zoom. I don't know about you guys, but now that we've used Zoom, everything has to be Zoom. And so just in that way, it seemed to make things a little easier.
Great. I'm excited. So we'll put you on the schedule next month. Is that okay?
So Beth, I'm gonna put my email in the thingy.
Okay.
Okay.
So, okay. Let me write that down on my notes. Next meeting. Hold on. So boot camps. If you have not registered your incoming residents, please do so. I'm pretty sure you guys are receiving the email from ASPS. If not, the website is here. Okay. And it's first come, first serve. So if it's full, there's only one location this year and it's only in Tampa, Florida. They used to have 2 locations. So just make sure you register them. It's free. all you have to do is register them on I think the PSCN website. Include them as your new residents, and it's free for them and free for the program. Any questions about the boot camp? Nope. Okay. Next is a reminder about the fall meeting in Austin, Texas. The housing is now open. It's first come, first serve. So if you're planning to attend, please go to the website and reserve your housing. I don't think registration is open yet. It will be available in the summer, but at least you'll have your hotel reserved. Oh, so one thing that we discussed with the board is the reception. Who is someone here from Austin?
I am Britta. I'm one of the meeting managers for ACAPS, and I can chime in and let you know that the board has approved $1,500 for a reception. So we will work with you guys to find something local that can accommodate that to set up a reception.
Okay, great. That answered our questions. So we'll work with you, Britta, right, directly regarding the reception location?
Yes, me, Shayla, or Johanna will kind of work as a team in tandem to get everything set up for you guys.
Thank you so much. We'll reach
course.
out to you. Travel scholarship. I think it will be open in the summer also, but we encourage everyone to apply if your program it doesn't have any funding for you to attend. To please submit your application, and again, it will be sent out in application should be sent out soon. Just watch out for the email. And it's a $1,500 travel scholarship. Take advantage of it, you know. So if your program cannot support you to attend this year, you know, you can apply. GME track. Deadline is May 17th. So if you have not completed that, please do so. And May 17th is next week, I think.
I don't think it's.
Is it the deadline or is that when it opens?
It's when it opens.
Sorry. Opens on May 17th. I'm
I was
sorry.
gonna say, because I haven't received an email about it. I'm like,
I'm sorry.
okay. Sorry.
So that's it. If you guys don't have any questions about the topics that we've discussed, is there anything else that you have any concerns, any topics you want to bring up right now? Question and answer portion. No. I know Rhonda always asks in the beginning, how's the weather in your area? Mine is gloomy.
Mine is actually great today. Sunny, it's in the 70s. Of course, I've been cooped up in the house and have meetings till 4:30, but okay.
Baltimore's finally nice too. So again, I've been cooped up in the office till 4:30.
Are you in person 100% or are you hybrid?
I'm hybrid. I had an in-person meeting today, so I came to the office, but I'm usually here 2 days a week and work from home 3 days a week. Because I never see my residents. I see them on grand rounds maybe. And, you know, at graduation. Part of it is Helena and I sit in, we're like, most of our department is up on the 8th floor. Helena and I are on the 2nd floor with a couple of the docs. So we're kind of like down here. We call ourselves the redheaded stepchildren.
It's okay. So my clinic is on the different campus, on the East Campus and the ground level. And all of the education people and my admin people are the opposite direction in a separate building. And then I'm in like the oldest building on campus in an office right next to the elevator, right above the morgue. Right.
When I was in OB, my office was over the garbage can. I looked at the garbage can if I looked out the window. Well, not a garbage can, the dumpster.
What's a window? I don't understand. What do you mean a window?
Well, it's
That's
12
why I
hours,
work from home
guys.
3 days a week.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said, that's why I work from home 3 days a week.
I might say it's nice to work from home, work hybrid. I mean, it's just a great wellness, you know, it's a good balance, I think, but I can't work 100% at home. I have to be in the office at some point or else I'll go crazy. It's nice to have that interactions with our residents and faculty sometimes. Kendra said she works from home 80% of the time. Okay, guys, we're on time. It's 12:02. Thank you guys for coming and participating in our discussions, sharing your ideas and, you know, expertise. Good luck on your preparation for graduation, end of the year checklist. And we'll see you guys soon next month.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.